lessons from the lesson. Live in the hills, but I still get a spread. Started with a little, but I still reinvest it. Fear how I feel, then you feel it's a blessing. I just want the lesson, I just want protection. I'm up and I'm down, but they sound like progression. Farmer never plans if he waits for perfection. Finger to the down.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't know how to start this video. So since I'm in the driver's seat right now, I figured I'd just do this in the car. I mean, I will tell you, this isn't going to be common for the watch list, so you have nothing really to worry about. But yeah, let's talk. All right, so now that I'm driving, I realized my gas tank was on E, but like that's outside of my control. So like I'm just, I think your best guess of what's happening is as good as mine, because we got a bench press curl. Honestly, all I'm trying to say is that I'm like very awake, ready to tackle this, and that like the economy and then employment is still good. It's awake too. It's alongside with me, All right, so hope you had a good day. But if any of that was confusing to you, that is a visual of how bankers and analysts are viewing Jerome Powell from yesterday. Everybody is confused. Ladies and gentlemen, hope you're ready for another watch list. I hope you're ready for tomorrow and that big expiration, but we have a lot to talk about. So today was crazy. We dropped almost as much as 5% on the NASDAQ. It closed 3 on the SPY, still 4 on the NASDAQ. It was absolutely crazy. Again, we hit another low, and I guess if I could give you some good things, the breadth was awful and good at the same time today, but what this chart is showing you, market breadth is now falling off to a point that we haven't seen since 2020 or 2018. And what does that mean? It means like 95% of stocks are all trading at 52-week lows or below their 52-week highs. So that's not good, but some people say this could signal a shorter term bottom or maybe even a longer term bottom. But the point is, we hit a key level. We dropped below 2021 levels today, and there was a ton of digestion and interpretation from Powell. You got more data and a bunch of other stuff across the world. So we're going to go over all that. I got a couple plays for tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a big day, and then we're going to see where it lays us up for next week. So I hope you're ready, but drop your thumbs up on the video. Make sure you're subscribed. And if you don't know, we are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open, baby. YouTube.com/the stock market. Hopefully we see you there. But let's start with the keys, ladies and gentlemen. What happened today? In the morning, pre-market, leading into most of the day, and even after hours, a lot of the big banks were agreeing that a lot of what Powell said yesterday was contradicting. Again, you guys heard how I sounded. I'm glad to hear I wasn't the only one. There was a lot of analyst notes this morning, and people are just losing confidence, and it's not necessarily in Powell, but the fact is, Powell didn't sound confident. A lot of things contradicted. He said, yeah, 75 won't be coming. And then 3 questions later, he's saying, well, whatever the data says, it didn't really make sense. But now the fact is, people are worried about central banks and them losing an idea of what's happening right now. We talked about this on stream before the meeting. Simply put, there is no certainty in what any central bank is going to do. We don't know anything about any inflation number from here on out. There is just a lot of confusion in the air as to the data and what the central banks and the Fed are going to do. And then on top of it, this morning, we opened up with bad data today. The real estate data was bad. Jobless claims kept climbing up. And like we said yesterday, that economic data was going to drive things. And really, that just got us off to an awful start today. But now there was also a lot of other things in the background today that really did have I don't want to say historic, but very large impacts. This morning, people were a little bit worried. We talked about it yesterday. One of the negative things is that now people might fear a recession and hiking into this negative environment. And that did show up today. You probably heard it on all major news media, fears of recession for the stock market. And that did have an effect, but up until the later part of the day, that wasn't reflected in the bonds. bonds. So here's TLT, and remember what we talked about over the last couple of months. If TLT goes down, bond yields go up. That is a sign that people are worried about inflation. If it does the opposite, TLT goes up, bond yields come down, that is more of a I'm worried about recession type of fear. So go look at the bonds today, and you'll see it was down 2% on TLT, but then by the end of the day and even after hours, we don't have any news on it. I think there's something with the banks. We're going to see they started to go up a little crazy. The dollar did move, but what I'm trying to tell you here is that, yeah, people are worried about Powell today. That was part of driving us to the lows. People are worried about the confidence, the recession, all those things. But you had a giant culprit, and it was the giant moves out of the euro and the Swiss franc. So Europe was talking about how they're going to stop the bond fragmentation. They pretty much said they're willing to sell assets to go buy Italian bonds so that Italy doesn't blow up and it leads to a bigger problem. So people like that. The euro strengthened by the most in a while. I think it was even one of the biggest drops on the dollar since March 2020 today, and that is what weighed on it. And then the Swiss National Bank, the SNB, they announced that they actually are doing a 50 basis point hike, and that was not expected. And then that shot up the Swiss franc to a good level. And then some people were worried about it because the Swiss National Bank is technically a hedge fund, and they release what they're holding. A lot of people realized today, oh crap, they were buying the crap out of mega cap stocks. They own a bunch of U.S. mega caps, and essentially if they do what the EU did and they're going to need to sell anything, I mean, they got a lot of money to sell in U.S. stocks, but that's what caused a lot of moves beneath the surface. Even the Bank of Japan and the yen, that moved somewhat, not too much, we're going to get there. But what I'm trying to say is that the confidence from Powell and some of these more sporadic moves by central banks that were unexpected all across the world, it messed with currencies and mess with the bonds, the dollar, and the market. And really, we had a capitulation type day. I would say today was more like it than not. And even how we play into the next weeks, we'll really see. But everything was looking bad. At one point throughout the day, you had 4 names up on the S&P. For I think the first 2 or 3 hours of the day, literally only 4 out of 500 stocks were barely in the green. So keep that in mind. But now, tomorrow is going to be the turn. We've been waiting for it. I'll tell you now, I think the floor is going to be 360 tomorrow based on the options and other things. I said it today. If we break through 360, it opens up the door to 355 and some of these crazier lower levels, but we're going to see. I have some confidence in 360 coming into tomorrow. Pretty much we went over this today on stream. There's just a lot of money on the options in the range, but it seems to be too big of payouts if it moved any further, but we'll see what happens with that. Ultimately, who knows? Because like I'm saying, if we get any sort of capitulation or anything, I mean, anything could happen. But coming into next week now, this should start to free up a lot of moves. So I think tomorrow, options expiration is going to drive it. Any other news developments, and assuming now the Bank of Japan doesn't lead to a blowout in their bonds or anything negative, kind of like how we woke up to today, then I really think it's going to be all about Friday trading. It'll either be like the last Friday where we kind of gap into a level and then pretty much do nothing, let theta and kind of small back and forths do its thing, or like we saw about 2 or 3 Fridays ago, we may get a quick move down or up, and then by the end of the day, you might just see a 1-2% move literally within like 20 to 30 minutes more or less. So we will see what happens. But today was confusing. It's glad to see the rest of the market and a lot of finance people are picking up on it. We have a lot to digest. We have a lot of data. Remember, Monday's close next week because of the holiday, June 19th or Juneteenth. I said 19th, Juneteenth. Okay, they get it. Anyways, but we still got a couple of events tomorrow. Option expiration will open up doors, and then we're really going to see right now, do we entertain more lows? Do we get more global fears? Or do we finally get a real relief rally? We will see. But as far as the plays, I got 3 that I'm looking at. First one is going to be Amazon. I made a play on this one. I forgot which ones we got. It was the Amazon June 24th $79 puts. I grabbed 5 of them for 7 cents, $35 total. Again, they were at like $7. Kind of went up a little bit, but these are super far at the money, so be careful. Just like the Betos, you might be better off going closer to the money if you want to play this. But my logic with Amazon, consumer consumer discretionary was a little bit weak over there, but now post-split, if it falls below 100, I just feel like that could have some sort of psychological effect, or maybe we get some activity. But that's the reason why. And with today, that was one of the only options that, even though we were down, the premium, I paid like 10% over yesterday, and yesterday it was down. So it actually had some level of deal, but again, super far out the money. But that is the first play. The second play, TLT again. Again, today was a wild day. It opened up down 2%, did this move. People are kind of juggling what they're afraid about. So I like it, but I'm just watching tomorrow for the prices. I mean, I will jump back in on a short on TLT if the prices get cheaper, but if not, I'm not going to force it, and then we're going to have to push this into next week. But like I've been telling people, again, even after today, I really do believe that yields are going to go higher until the Fed blinks and then starts saying, nah, we're actually going to change the plan here. But that's literally what the Fed futures are saying. That's what the Fed dot plot is saying. Again, the Fed plans to keep raising rates and keep raising rates. Why would they do that? Because there's a lot of inflation and because that's their plan, but now they're going to raise rates. So do you see what I'm saying? The trajectory is there. We know the what, we just don't know the when. So we're going to be going back and forth with this, but that's what I'm saying coming into tomorrow. We'll see the prices. If it's there, we'll take it. If not, keep waiting and we'll push this out to next week. But the broader macro of what bonds are doing, I mean, it's pretty easy at this point. So we'll see what happens. But that's the second play. And then finally, Costco, baby. I got to roll over my play. I'm down like $3,000. Why? Because I'm down 20 bucks on the short, and now the option insurance expires tomorrow. I had gains on it. It flipped, so I'm going to lose my insurance, and I'm still down on the short. Literally in hell right there. Not where you want to be, but I'm going to roll it over. I'm going to get me a little insurance just to cap the loss, but I want to hold the short for a little bit and simply just go look at their chart. I feel like compared to a lot of names, even the Dow, the S&P is like, they got a lot of meat on the bone. They're consumer discretionary, and well, a lot of things are changing, and they were on the more everything is good camp, and they didn't really hint at anything bad. So we'll see what happens with that one, but gonna be watching that. That's the only other play. The only other play I made today was the Amazon. I did cover my Dow short. Remember, I made this last Friday, made $1,000 on the future. Not too bad. It broke below 30,000. That's what I was waiting for. We'll see moves tomorrow. I may reopen it. I still have my NASDAQ short, but there was that. And then AMD, we did that one last week as well too. I closed out the trade. We got $20 a share on a short. So I feel like if I hit that with the options, it may have made me more. We could go back and compare the two, but walked away with like $1,600 profit after the insurance, and now I still got August calls. I don't know if they'll come back and how that'll play out, but it was a good trade. Closed out of it. Again, I think they could go down like $5 more to like 75, maybe 70, but in my mind, I was like, well, I just captured $20 of short shares in a week. I was like, I feel like there's more reward than downside available, or maybe I could reposition with an option or find something else, but that was pretty much it. Nothing else. I'm going to be watching those plays coming into tomorrow, interpreting the data, and then we'll see. Bank of Japan, I'm down 1,800 right now on the yen play because it went up, and tomorrow I'm either going to get rewarded big or y'all going to ask me questions. Why did you do that? Oh my God, Josh, you're getting clapped. But don't worry, because that's my first position on it. So I do plan to add a lot more to this trade, but pretty much that was my first place marker, and I'm going to go from there. So this is actually falling in line with the plan, but we'll see. Obviously, I don't want to lose money, but what I'm assuming with the yen, we're going to get a couple of big moves at this level, but eventually the macro broader trend will play out. So that's why it's going to be exciting. But that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure hydrate healthy, ready to go. Make sure post your watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning. I need the armor on. I need the helmet shining. I need to remind you right here, right now. If this market doesn't take you out, if this market can't clap you, no market ever in history will be able to get you. You are dealing through something that nobody really has seen. This is so unique, but I'm saying, if you could deal with this type of difficult market, you will be untouchable in the future. Just a good reminder, okay? So hopefully we see you in the game, baby. Hopefully I see you in the morning. And have a good night. I was about to go do the whole thing again. I've been doing that. I don't know. Maybe it's the energy. I don't know. But drink water. Stay peaceful. And like we said today, man, some people are just tired, and you can sleep a lot and still be tired. Just relax. You've gone through 7 months of this craziness, so just be some woosah. It's going to be good, baby. I love you. Drink water. I'll see you in the morning, and thank you for being positive and respectful all these days. Again, it's been amazing, man. Let's go. Let's keep it up. Shout out to Cole, baby. I can't end this. I don't want to end it. I love you. Okay, goodbye.